You think you'd never hurt another person. But this experiment proved almost anyone could. It started in a simple lab with ordinary people just like you. What happened next left the entire world stunned and terrified. In the early 1960s, a psychologist named Stanley Milgram wanted to study obedience. How far would a person go if told to harm another? On the surface, it was a simple learning experiment. Participants were told they would administer electric shocks to another person whenever that person answered questions incorrectly. The shocks were fake, but the participants didn't know that. From the start, the experiment seemed straightforward, even mundane. But as soon as the first shock was delivered, the real story began. People were sweating, hesitant, trembling. Some begged to stop, yet almost all continued when instructed. The shocking part wasn't the setup, it was the reactions. Ordinary middle-class men were pushing the shock buttons all the way up to levels labeled danger, severe shock. Some even laughed nervously, some sweated profusely, others showed visible signs of distress. Why did they obey? Milgram's recordings revealed a haunting truth. When authority tells us what to do, our moral compass can falter. Most people assume they'd resist, but in reality, we often follow instructions even when it violates our own ethics. The psychological tension was electric. Some participants tried to quit, saying things like, "I can't do this anymore." But the experimenter replied, "The experiment requires you to continue," and almost everyone did. The experiment was repeated hundreds of times, with variations. The results were always similar. 2/3 of participants obeyed fully, even when the fake shocks supposedly reached dangerous levels. It was a discovery that shook psychology and society itself. Why does this happen? Psychologists suggest several mechanisms. Authority bias. We trust authority figures, often blindly. Diffusion of responsibility. If someone tells us to, guilt feels diminished. Gradual escalation. Each small step makes the next one easier. Milgram's experiment also influenced real-world events. It gave insight into how ordinary people could participate in atrocities, like those in Nazi Germany, without personal hatreds, simply following orders. Interestingly, some participants refused to continue, but those who did obey weren't bad people. They were average individuals pushed into extreme psychological stress. That's what made the results so terrifying. Obedience can override empathy. The most unsettling part. Milgram later discovered that people's perception of authority matters more than morality itself. Even in modern times, individuals will often comply with instructions from perceived authority figures, whether in corporate settings, schools, or governments. Some variations of the experiment showed that proximity to the victim mattered. When participants could see or touch the person being shocked, obedience dropped, but it didn't disappear. Human nature seems wired for compliance, especially under pressure. Milgram's work raises uncomfortable questions. Are we as moral as we think? Can ordinary people commit extreme acts under the right circumstances? And perhaps most chillingly, are we all capable of doing things we'd normally consider unthinkable? The Milgram experiment is more than a story, it's a warning. It reminds us to question authority, to understand our psychological weaknesses, and to recognize how easy it is to cross moral boundaries. Next time someone tells you to do something because it's required, remember, obedience is seductive. Sometimes the bravest act is saying no.